morning, neighbor. Today I'm drinking a Castleton Muscatel black tea. And there's a picture in my head. There's a picture in my head of something I want to talk about. My timer just went off, and so the recording stopped. I want to talk about our nature and what we are as creatures, as human beings, as people, as living, breathing, conscious animals. In some ways, we're no different than the animals. We're no different than any other mammal out there. The deer, the grizzly bears, the moose, the meese, the squirrels and the rabbits. We're just as complicated as them in some ways, and we're different in others. But in a biological sense, we're creatures. We're living, breathing creatures here on this earth. And what sets us apart is our consciousness and our ability to create in a way which I guess I'll say create in a way which has a massive impact, or create on a scale. I think that might be part of what we are as creatures. But I don't think that exactly gets to the point or hits the nail on the head. Because beavers they create dams, and they create on a mass scale in some ways. And the only reason we can make larger dams like the Hoover Dam is because we have the knowledge of creating machines which can hold back water and all that stuff. So I guess I want to say, still, we're not very different from the animals. But there is something different about us. My faith tradition says that we as human beings, we are made in the image of God. We're made in the divine image. We bear the image of the Creator. And in some ways, I think the animals do that too. I mean, look at the similarities with the way that animals are formed and shaped. Like, they have legs like us, but they're different. They have heads and brains like us, and hearts, but they're different. So, what is it that we are? That's a big question, especially when you consider that we're made in the divine image, and yet we're creatures of the dirt. We come from the earth and we go to the earth. We just become dust and ashes. So, what is our nature? What is it that makes us special when compared to the rest of the animal kingdom? In some ways, we have no up on any creature out there. Like, we're all just creatures. But in other ways, just look at all that we've made, all that we shape and form. I think about all the infrastructure, all of the roads throughout all of the cities and towns, and the fact that we are able to make combustion engines and cars which are formed and shaped in all these different ways, and we come up with ideas. We share those ideas. We network through those ideas. We put them on internet boxes and web addresses, and we upload them. We record them through video. We do so much with all that we have been given, all that is available to us. What is our nature? Another part of my faith tradition. And I don't know exactly how to say it without potentially being hurtful or damaging toward people. Is that the human species is theology has a lot to say about this issue. The human species is like a stray sheep. We've all turned to our own way. We are all like broken records. We just continue repeating the same scars, the same scratches in the record. We keep repeating the same mistakes. We keep messing up and failing to achieve our purpose, or failing to achieve the high calling that we have been presented. And that is that's why things are often screwy in the world. We're like sheep. We've gone astray. Another theological term for that would probably be depravity. But I don't like that word. I think it holds quite a bit of shame. Quite a bit of hurt. It's oftentimes a whip used by preachers who don't know the people they're speaking to. Another part of our nature is our creative consciousness, or the creative part of our consciousness. I think that in some ways we can't help but be creative. We can't help but be productive, producing. That creativity, that creation part of us, it's innate, and it's a gift that comes to us every day. And it's a little abstract, because oftentimes when people talk about creativity or being creative, I think they think about like drawing patterns in the sand, or just drawing pictures, or painting a work of art, or sharing something, or building a house. When it's that gift, that creativity, that rest, that respite, it's creativity. Creativity is our every breath. In our sustaining of ourselves, we are being creative, and we are taking part in that creation. We have an active role in that creation. And then I also feel that creativity that we all have as human beings, as people made in the divine image, or maybe believe is too big a term, but I understand that creativity has been in many ways domesticated by our modern life, in which you gotta go take a job to sustain yourself in this lifetime, in this life. Wherein I think the most natural way, the most natural setting is probably being a farmer. I've never been a farmer, but I've spoken to farmers and I've read from farmers, and the way that they craft their farm is very interesting to me. And the idea of sustainability is very hopeful to think about. The things that I'm worried about are not a crop that I have to wait for. At least not a physical crop. But I worry about my car. I worry about keeping it running. I worry if I am going to have enough money to pay for that car. I worry about what happens down the line when I no longer have that car, when it dies on me. It's a money pit in many ways. It doesn't grow for me. It just wears down. It provides a lot, but it's nothing like a tree. It's nothing like a garden. It's more of a black hole. I'm worried about my job, at least sometimes. I'm not as worried as I used to be. Even with the car, I understand that the Lord will provide whenever that moment happens, whenever that time comes. I'm worried about the system to which I am linked to which my monetary value is linked to, the money that I use to purchase food. I'm worried about that system, because those systems, those economies, they collapse. They all collapse eventually. So many people are worried about stock markets and the value of currency, and so many people are worried about wars and rumors of war. Those things, those systems in so many ways sustain me. And It's not practical. It's not sustainable. So there's a creativity. There's a creative nature that we have in a spiritual sense, and then also a physical sense. Because we as creatures, male and female, we're able to produce more of ourselves or other selves. We have that creative nature not only in our spiritual sense, but in our physical sense. And this part of our creativity is very it strikes near to my heart. Because there is a brokenness that comes to this part of myself that I don't feel that everyone has experienced in the way I've felt it. And I think that this is probably something that I'll be thinking about for a long time and learning about for a long time. And I might see it differently 20 years from now. Because that part of us is not only spiritual and physical, I guess I don't know where I'm going with that sentence. But that part of us is very core to us. It's core to our being. And a lot is said about the roles of people. And those roles often domesticate us and harm us rather than help us. It is said too often that one person must be submissive to another, or that one person must dominate over another. rather than things be a partnership. And not even in just these relationships in our physical, creative sense, but in a business sense, in a workplace setting. It is too often said that one person must submit to an authority, and the authority must rule over a worker. There are better ways to live in this world. One might call it a partnership. I call it love. The family, the human family, brothers and sisters working together to do something beautiful. We're never not just stocking shelves. We're never not just doing some futile thing. We're being creative. We're working with people. I wish that more bosses saw things this way. I've had a lot of good bosses in my life. And I've had a lot of bosses that just don't understand this sort of thing. And I hope that maybe they will someday. A lot more could be said, and a lot more. I'll get to it eventually. But right now, yeah, I've gotta get ready for work, and I think I've got about 30 minutes left before I gotta go in for the day. Thank you for tuning in, neighbor. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. I hope that these words help in some small fashion. I hope that they help you to see and come alive. May God bless you. May the divine bless you and keep you. May his face smile upon you. And may you experience and know the grace and the gift of God and overcome all that would hinder you from experiencing that gift. See you next time.